can. I know it sounds whatever, but I would tend to lean Eastern Michigan in this game, as crazy as it might sound to you, but I really would. I just, as much as they got blown out at Northern Illinois, back then when that game was going on, Northern Illinois was a different team. Right, Cash Axe. Northern, they haven't been good on the road at all. They just haven't been good overall, so something to watch out for. Different thing, something I didn't bring up there. If you look at where the first and second rounds are, they all have their little places there. One of them is Denver, right? And there's going to be, 2, 4, 6, 8 teams that have to go to Denver. And if one of those, obviously one of them is going to be from around there, whether it's the 4 seed in Utah going up there. If Utah goes up and plays in Denver, they're going to kick out in elevation. They play in elevation all the time. That's a huge disadvantage for teams that never play in elevation. We bet on it all the time, especially in the second games. A second game of a road trip out to Colorado and Utah, doors blown off them. If Utah gets past that first round and they're catching a team on the second game in 3 nights in elevation, watch out. Just saying, there's something to think about. We'll get into that more. I probably won't mention that again because it's going to be client play. But there's a free thing that's a free little tidbit there to watch out for. How about that? So that's that. As far as any more, like I said, we talked about the Arkansas Little Rock over. I mentioned the Bowling Green first half over. Well, also the George Washington first half under. And then I got some other things I'm working on here as far as some totals with Kentucky and Duke. Maybe the Kentucky over, maybe the Duke under. Nothing crazy as of the moment. You look at, real quick, we'll get into some of these conference games. As the tournaments are starting up today, right? Patriot League, how exciting. So let's get into that, right? And the Atlantic Sun is the other one. Which one do we want to get into first? Let's get into the Patriot League first. That starts today. Navy in the middle of the pack here. They are 9-9 in conference, going up against Lafayette. Lafayette, just a bad team overall. They're just a bad team. 3-15 in conference. 3-15 in this conference, you have to be bad, right? Their defense is bad. Their defense is god awful. They can score. They just don't play any defense. They're a lot like a mini version of the Citadel. And Navy, on the other hand, they're going to want to obviously try to slow it down a little bit, get you around 54, 55 shots. With that being said, though, the last time they played 74-68, what's that, 142? That would have went over the posted total. Not to mention, Lafayette shot 42% in that game, 39% from 3. Navy did shoot 47. I lean the over in this one, right? Now, in these conference tournaments, to a point, these ones are a little different because this game's in Navy. The first round, they host them. This tournament lasts a little longer than some of the others, but I would tend to lean, as crazy as it might sound, and I did dig into this one earlier, the over. That's where I would go with this one. Holy Cross is the other one. Holy shit, Holy Cross. Sorry. I don't know if that's blasphemy or whatever, but another bad team against Loyola, Maryland, right? Loyola, Maryland also. These are just the bottom feeders, bad teams. I don't know why, this is the second and third worst team in the league, but yet they're playing each other. Why don't they get some of these higher seeds? But obviously they get a bye. But if Navy's playing, only 4 teams get a bye. Why doesn't Navy, I don't get it. Why doesn't Colgate play Holy Cross? If you looked at the standings, you know what I mean. It's just weird. Again, in these tournaments, I like points, right? And I like teams that have been there before and done that. You look at this Holy Cross team. In the first round of tournament games, in the last 3 years, 2-0 ATS, 2-0 straight up, right? When they played a team with a losing record, they're pretty damn good. But talking about first round and conference tournament games, right? In the first round, they're 2-0. They usually bow out in the second round each and every year. You look at Loyola Maryland, 0-2 in the first round. It gets better. Since 1997, in the first round of this tournament, they are 1-10 ATS. They just are not that good. They don't get it done. Yes, they are at home. Okay, I get it. They're still 9-20. Again, you got a coach that knows how to coach these tournaments against a team that is 1-10 ATS, 2-11 straight up in the first round of this tournament. You're going to lay 4.5 points with that? No, thank you. I'll take Holy Cross plus the 4.5 all day. So that's that one. That's about it. That's who you like, 2 cash bets. Okay. So that's that. The other one, whatever. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter. I'd be lying to you if I said that, I know a lot about the other conferences here in this one, right? The other one I was looking at, though, that I have written down here on my notes, and all that means is really that I have it written down in my notes and it's 12:30. Stetson at New Jersey Institute of Technology, okay? We all know about NJIT, and Stetson's obviously 4-10. But, it's a lot of points, okay? 12 points in a tournament is a lot. And I do understand, NJ, they had some success. I get it. But you never know. I mean, this tournament hasn't had lines in a long time to look at that. You look at previous matchups, New Jersey beat them earlier this year at home, same situation, 74-70. New Jersey shot 46%. The rebounds were the same. Stetson actually had 6 more turnovers. I just think 12 is a lot. You're going to get a good effort out of this Stetson team, right? You could tell that. You could tell. They got the win against Florida Gulf Coast in the last game of the season. They really, kicked it in gear. And you look at the losses, they losing by, these are the losses, because before this last win, they lost 6 in a row. They lost by 2, by 3, by 10, by 2, by 4, by 8, right? So they're keeping it close. I'll take the double digits with Stetson. Just based on that. That's solely my handicapping on that one. So, buyer beware. Hockey, tough night in hockey tonight. We do have a couple that I like. I am sending one out as a client play that we won't talk about. First one, Carolina at New Jersey. Okay, you probably got a total of 4.5. Some might have 5. That's fine. Who cares? What I'm looking at here, you got a Carolina team that just really dumped off all their legit players, right? They must be pretty bummed out. They were at home. They just lost 3 in a row, 4 out of 5. You can go even further back. Same thing with New Jersey. They're not scoring goals. They've been having a little issue on defense. However, I think Carolina just doesn't have anybody to score goals now. And they just learned, despite being 28-26. Now I get it, they're not out of it, but to be sellers at the deadline, sure, when you're 28-26, sure does put a damper on things, especially when you take some of the goal scoring away, right? What I look at here in this one, and this is a free play, John Jensen, let me explain something to you after that. I look at Carolina team total under 2.5. It's a little juicy, right? So you might want to parlay it with something. It's minus 165, but that's the play there. John Jensen mentions in college baseball, TCU is 34-25 versus UTO Grand Valley. That should be a run line game, but I guess they're afraid of me. Yeah, unbelievable. I should have left my mouth shut, but we were hammering those run lines when they put them out, and we hit every single one of them. They couldn't make them high enough, and I badgered them a little bit when they actually graded a bet wrong for all of us. They graded Nova as a loss, Vanderbilt as a loss when it should have been canceled. It took me 24 hours to get that bet corrected and all the clients their money back. But I had a lot to say to them and bitching to them about it, and then they haven't put any run lines up since. So I don't know, pissed off about that. But let me tell you about these teams. They got these lines up for these professional teams playing college teams, right? It's a little ridiculous. It really is. What I did a parlay with every single one of them, right? As crazy as it sounds, and go right ahead and do it. But you're laying 900 or whatever, right? I did a 10-team parlay. And I did all the ones. I did the Phillies, both Red Sox yesterday. I got Miami over Miami. The D-backs against Arizona today. And then a couple tomorrow, St. Louis, Florida Atlantic, Milwaukee against Milwaukee, regardless, right? And I left 3 spots open. I filled it with second half money lines in college basketball when teams are getting blown out or when it looked good. I had Oregon State, for example, Xavier, when they were losing by 23, throw that second half money line in there. Chances are they make a little bit of run. They do, right? And what that is, you're getting minus 200s put into that parlay to get the money up. So right now I got one pending in a 10-team parlay, right? And this was just for fun. For $40 wins $1,000. But you know that 70% of this parlay is as guaranteed as it comes, right? So it's as close to free money as you can get, as long as you're smart with the 3 extras that you put in to get the money up. But yeah, so that's that. I don't know where we got into that. As far as NHL, the only other one I like, and if someone comes at me and say I'm a homer because I'm taking the Boston Bruins, first of all, right, go screw yourself. Second of all, we just bet against Boston. Third of all, 81-49 on the year, so shh when I say this, right? Calgary's defense is terrible. They just played last night in Philly. They did get 3 goals late, but they lost. They've lost 5 in a row. I mean, the numbers are bad for Calgary. Boston, let's see. We had Boston against Pittsburgh, right? We had them against Carolina. We bet against them Tampa Bay, right? And now we're going to bet on them today. And we're going to bet on them on the puck line at 1.5 at plus 150. That's a free play. Small bet plus 150. Bruins get it done. Trade deadline has come and gone. Team is intact. I think they can relax now. They just got embarrassed once again on their home ice by a playoff team. Usually they bounce back pretty well after embarrassment. For whatever reason, they need little kicks in the ass every once in a while. They've only won. I mean, they're 6-1, 0-3 in their last 10 against Calgary. It's a spot for the Bruins. I'm just going to say that. Do I love laying the 1.5? No. But where I'm going with this is, if you don't want to lay the 1.5, you can parlay the money line with the Bruins with that Carolina team total under 2.5, and you might have something there. But that's it. As far as the rest, that's it. But thanks, guys. I appreciate you listening. Hopefully we had some fun. We'll do it again tomorrow. For everybody listening after the fact, you can always type in any questions. Just let me know. If you want a certain beat writer on the show, if you want a certain TV personality, obviously don't ask me to get Buster Only or any fucking guys on ESPN or MLB Network. They're not allowed to go on there. Neither would they come on here. But, in your local scene, who you see on local TV, if you want one of them on here to talk, if you think that they would be a good guest, let me know. I might know them. They might already be coming on, or I can ask and have someone reach out to them for me. Let's make this as John Frey for the Reds. I'll write that down, but John Fay for the Reds. Yeah, we can work with that. We can make that happen. We'll get him on Cash Action. And that'll do it. That'll do it today. Quick rundown again in hockey. Boston 1.5, Carolina team total. What are we talking about in college basketball? Well, I gave you, because it's the end of the year, this 2 system. Bowling Green first half over 68. George Washington first half under 65. In the tournaments, Patriot League and everything, Holy Cross 4.5. Good reasons behind that one. The Navy over 135. Yeah. Stetson plus 12. Yeah. Yeah. Then we have... almost just gave away the client play. Arkansas Little Rock over 137. We're going to see where that line goes, but I like that one. Again, I was looking at Duke under, Kentucky over. Nothing final there. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it, right? As always, hit me up on Twitter, @CopyMoney. GUP